I'm back. I bet a few of you have been wondering where I've been. I've been living life, riding horses, making money, doing things like that. I've actually been demonetized for a second on YouTube for like 2 days. They were saying I was stealing people's content. I had to freaking appeal that and get remonetized. It was ridiculous. Luckily, I got it back, but it was crazy to begin with that they even said I did something like that. Just amazing. YouTube has always been known to be very stupid. So if you're new, go ahead and subscribe. We're going to be talking about Spider-Man 2. We're going to be talking about how there's probably not going to be any DLC for it. And honestly, I've been saying this for a while. That might be a good thing. It might not even make sense that Spider-Man would get DLC. Spider-Man 2 would get DLC, unless it's like mainly Miles focused, which I don't think a lot of people would really be too happy about, considering the game was kind of built around 2 Spider-Men. So if that were the case, I think a lot of people would be mad, but let me go ahead and show you where this kind of comes and confirms from. So Insomniac has this consistent thing. I don't know if they do it for all their games. I really only see it for Spider-Man, but they're always like posting GIFs or like certain things of the game, like little clips of the game. And you know, it's just like little marketing things. And somebody asked, any news on DLC? And they literally just flat out say, we don't have anything new to announce. And it's like, God, this game came out what? October? It's almost been a full year, bro. 2 months and it's been a full year, which is that's insane. Where the hell did that whole year go? It just like flew by like it was nothing. But honest to God, like, it's been a full year. I think a lot of people have to accept the fact that those leaked DLCs that we saw, the Beetle thing, when the New Game Plus came out, there was a menu for the devs that basically showed the DLCs and certain things like that. So it's possible that they might like randomly release it, just, you know, out of the blue. But the fact that they said we don't have anything new to announce, oof, that kind of sounds pretty brutal. Like, yeah, we don't have anything new to announce for this game. Like, Spider-Man 2 is essentially, it's done. All you can do now after the game's over is web swing. Which is, I think I'd probably have like 300, 400 hours of just web swinging. But, you know, it's rough and to a certain degree that they're not doing that, because it could help the longevity of the game. What I really think they should do is just focus on Wolverine and focus on Spider-Man 3. If they're really done with DLC, then really just start focusing on marketing those games instead. Really focus on making those games way better than what, you know, Spider-Man 2 was in many ways. Like, I think a lot of people think that there could have been major story improvements and stuff like that for that game, and I really do certainly agree in many regards, but the gameplay was phenomenal. But of course, they could make major improvements to the story and all that type of stuff, the side missions. I really do think that in many ways, to help the longevity of the game, besides DLC, would be to add like challenge maps. Like, they don't have the challenge maps of Arkham, where you could go through a list and do like races, which I think would be really cool. Have like a little race mode where you have to get to one side of the map to the next side of the map at a certain timer, and then have that leaderboard thing where you see your friends and where you stack up with your friends. That always adds a certain level of longevity and competition to the game that I think Spider-Man's kind of missing. And the fact that Brian Intihar himself has compared, you know, Marvel's Spider-Man to Arkham, he's like, this is Marvel's Arkham. Well, if you're going to be doing that and basically taking the title, you got to do something with the longevity. I know that web swinging really does help, but there's other things that need to help, you know, kind of help you out with the longevity as well. The combat as well, the combat challenges would be really cool. Just have them different boss battle areas or different stuff like that. You could add a bunch of enemies and just have it be like, you know, a never-ending battle, or just like certain modes that have like 4 rounds. Like, there's things that you can do, and I really think that besides the DLC, they need to add these things to the next games to actually make them feel, you know, a little bit more, I guess, like full of content. Because like recently, it just feels like after you're done with the story, you're done. You know, the side missions, yeah, they're there, but like, you could basically be done and just move on, and it's kind of sad. With the challenge maps, you have all of those leaderboards, and you basically, like Arkham, like I remember going back to Arkham not even like 2 years ago, I'm like, dang, everybody's above me on a leaderboard, so I got to like 2 or 3 and I still couldn't beat the top guy, and I'm like trying my hardest, and that really does help with the longevity. So stuff like that besides DLC would be really cool. I really think that with this DLC, the story stuff like Carnage and Beetle and Venom, that could honestly be saved for the next game. A lot of it was low-key set up for the next game, except Beetle. We didn't really see much of that character. But Venom and Carnage, if all those leaked stuff comes out, you know, they could wait for a solo game or stuff like that, or save pieces of those DLCs for the next game. So I personally don't really mind there not being any DLC. I do think it would help the game tremendously in many regards if they kind of like try to make this as a way to compromise and help out with the longevity of the third act and how rushed it was, they could really somewhat fix a lot of the problems that happened in that game. Of course, in Spider-Man 2, but I don't think it's going to happen. We have to wait until the third game to see a lot of these elements potentially, and maybe they'll do it like at the end of the year, maybe they'll do it next year. But I feel like it's so long now. God of War waited like 6 months. They got that out like within the first 6 months of the game's release. I mean, for crying out loud, I've been saying this forever. The first Spider-Man game, bro, the first 3 months of the release, October, November, December, from September. I'm like, bro, they had one DLC story pack a month with like a bunch of different new side quests and all this stuff. So I'm like, if they were going to do it, they would have done it by now. The fact that they say we don't have anything new to announce, I think it kind of just confirms my suspicions already that they're never going to make this DLC for the game. And I'm quite okay with that. Personally, I would have loved to see something like in the regard of Carnage, or like, you know, of course, that Beetle thing that they were setting, or like that got leaked 100 times. That sounded pretty interesting, but of course, we're probably never going to get that. And it's quite sad. But overall, I really hope that the leaks and the hacks didn't really play a too big of role in this, you know, department of them not really releasing any DLC, because that would suck tremendously. I think everybody really wanted them to release something, and if the hackers were responsible for them kind of delaying it, or in many regards making them just not release it at all, that really sucks as well. I know that with Wolverine and Spider-Man 3, they're probably going to keep moving forward with those games. It doesn't look like they're going to try to like stop making Wolverine. I feel like they pumped a lot of money and a lot of resources into that game, and it doesn't seem like we haven't heard any reports of them like canceling it. So I don't think that that's what they're going to do. I think a lot of people are excited for that Wolverine game, and I really think that after Deadpool and Wolverine, I think Marvel, Insomniac, Sony, they're all going to be really pushing for that Wolverine game to be almost fast-tracked, I could see. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do like almost like a October release for Wolverine, because of the fact of what the success was for Deadpool and Wolverine. Tonight, they're going to hit $900 million in the box office. For a rated R movie, for its first week, that's freaking insane. They're going to hit $1 billion within the first 2-3 weeks of the movie's release. I'm pretty sure that that Wolverine game is going to be somewhat fast-tracked eventually, especially with the X-Men 97 revival thing. I mean, like all of that popularity. The X-Men are really hot right now. So I think a Wolverine game by Insomniac, when they're actually showing off the gameplay and the story, and they're actually doing trailers that are official and not hacked and, you know, leaked, I think a lot of people are going to be pumped for it. Especially me. I cannot wait for that. It's going to be so freaking awesome. I'm trying to play that Wolverine game again on the PC. I'm probably going to record that and post it too. But overall, there's a lot of things that they could do with the DLC, but they didn't do it, and I hope that they focus on the Wolverine, and they kind of fast-track that one for 2025. That would be amazing if they could actually get that out somewhere like at the end of 2025 or something like that. And then Spider-Man 3 will be next. We all know that there's like that Venom game that might be floating around, but personally, I don't really care about that right now. I'm more focused on Wolverine. I want to see what they got with Wolverine. So tell me what you guys think in the comments below. I know I kind of rambled on a little bit, but it was a lot of fun. I like coming back. I'm going to be trying to make more videos. The fire's lit in my freaking soul. I'm not going to lie. I'm ready to come back and kind of like make more videos as much as possible. And my next one's actually going to be about Marvel Rivals and how I'm very depressed about how the fact that we can't play it anymore for a while. But it's okay. It's okay. We're going to be playing it very soon, I'm pretty sure. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.